In this tutorial, I'll be giving you a basic overview of the Divi Builder Call to Action module. The Call to Action module is a simple combination of title, text, and a button, and it's the easiest way within Divi to create a call to action that invites your visitors to do something, such as request a quote, contact us, sign up or purchase your product. It's basically just inviting them to click a button, and that button will take them to the desired action. So if you're running a web design agency, for example, you want to make sure that people have a clear avenue for contacting you and getting in touch and possibly becoming one of your clients. And so at the bottom of each page, you might want to add a call to action module that says, request a quote, click here for a free quote, and so on. And so here you can see a call to action module. It's been placed with a blue background. Here's a call to action module with no background color. This one's been placed next to an image, and here's one placed in its own section. And so the section has been created with a background image, and so it really creates this full width call to action experience. And so let's jump into the module settings, and I'm going to show you how to use the call to action module. So here's a basic about our team page, and I'd like to place a call to action at the bottom of this page to invite visitors to request a quote from our team, our web design team. So I'm going to edit this page. At the very bottom, I'm going to add that call to action module. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to add a new section. It's going to be a 1 column row. And I'm going to click Insert Modules and find the Call to Action module, which is right here. And clicking that will bring up the Call to Action module settings. And with all Divi Builder modules, settings are broken up into 3 tabs: General Settings, Advanced Design Settings, and Custom CSS. As a general philosophy, everything you need to create a really great page, a really great website using Divi can be found inside the General Settings tab. There's no need to move on to these other tabs unless you want more control over the design. And if you want to really customize the design of the module, you can jump into the Advanced Design Settings tab. And here we have controls for basically every single part of the module. You can customize colors, fonts, letter spacing, all of that great stuff. And if you would rather just use custom CSS, if you're CSS savvy, well, feel free to jump into the CSS tab and add CSS to the module as well. I have some great tutorials that go over these 2 tabs if you want to check those out. But in this tutorial, I'm just going to focus on the general settings. So first up is the title. That's the that appears first in the call to action module in a larger font size. And you want to have this, be relevant to whatever action you want your visitors to take. So in this case, I will say request a free quote. You'll want to input a URL for your button that will, perhaps go to your contact page or something like that. So you would input that here. You can choose to have that link open up in a new tab or to open up in the same tab. You can customize the button text. If you don't input any custom button text, it'll just say click here, which is also fine. You can choose to have a background color for the call to action module. If you add a background color, it's also going to add some padding around the box to ensure that the text inside of it doesn't butt up against the edges. So I'm just I'll say yes, I'll use a background color, and I'll use a blue background color that's already selected. And depending on the background color, you're going to want to choose to have either light or dark text. If you have a dark background color, choose light text. And if you have a light background color, choose dark text. That way the text will be readable for your visitors. You can choose the text orientation, either left, centered, right, or justified. And then you're going to want to input the content of the call to action module, which will be displayed below the title but above the button. So I'm just going to paste in some random text here. Finally, we have our admin label, CSS ID, and CSS class, which we don't need to worry about for this tutorial. If at any time you want to get a preview of your module, you can click the preview icon here, and it's going to give us a preview of our call to action module as it's currently been designed inside of the section that it's in. And you can switch through our responsive design testing tabs here to get an idea what that module looks like on different devices. And you can click the X here to bounce back into the settings. For example, I think I want to have this text-oriented center instead. If I change that and then take a look, you can see that the text will have been changed to a centered orientation. So that's looking pretty good. I want to add some custom button text, like maybe I'll just have it say request a quote, and I'll save and exit. I'm going to update the page, and then we can take a look at what that looks like on the front end. So I'm going to scroll down the bottom of the page. You can see our new section has been added with our CTA module. Now, as I showed you before, it's also a great effect to get a full width CTA by customizing the section background color, which I can do as well, and then removing the background color from the CTA module. So you can do that. I can move into the CTA module, and I'm going to say do not use a background color, so it's just going to be transparent. And then instead, I'm going to apply the background color to the parent section. And you can also apply a background image as well if you like, but in this case, I'm just going to do a color. Try making it purple. And again, you can get a preview of this if you want. So it's looking pretty good. I'm going to save and exit. And then take a look at our page again, refresh. And you can see we've created this full width CTA effect, which is really cool. Really grabs your attention. You're going to see some great conversions from that and from using this module in general. And as I touched on briefly, you can always explore those advanced design settings tabs as well if you want more control over the appearance of the module. For example, I might want to change the font of the header, make it bold and all caps, maybe even make it a little bit bigger. And save. You can take a look at that as well. I'm going to refresh the page on the front end. You can see that the title's been made a lot bigger. Font has been changed, it's all caps. You might want to do it for the same for the button, really, to make it stand out. You have custom button settings as well. So if I move back into this call to action module, I might want to use custom button styles. I could choose a button text color. That's a little different. I could make the button size a lot bigger if I wanted to. Really grab the visitor's attention. I could create a custom background color. I could remove the border radius. There's really so much you can do here. So I can take a quick preview. You can see, wow, my button's really changed a lot. It's gotten bigger. It's green. It's really going to grab people's attention. So there's so much you can do with these advanced design settings. So have fun exploring those. And that's a basic overview of the Divi Builder call to action module.